Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture. In today's lecture, we're going to introduce arrays. So arrays are basically fundamental data structures in C++ and any programming languages. And they are important because they allow us to store multiple elements of the same time in a single block of memory. So let me give you an example. So we would like to write a program to store 5 numbers in an array and then print them. In order to do that, previously we know from the integer data type we could simply just declare and initialize one number, two numbers, three numbers, four numbers, but they were initialized and declared separately. Here, using arrays, we can do them, we can do it and like declare all of these numbers in a single block of memory. How we are going to do it? Okay, so this is how we declare and initialize an array. So this is the name of the array, which is numbers. This is the size of the array, meaning that this array is having 5 elements, and then this is the data type of the array, which is integer. And when we want to declare and initialize an array, we're going to say that, for example, the data type, in this case int, numbers, the name, and within the bracket we put the number of element of the array, and then equals, and then we write down the element itself. So previously we used to write it something like int a equals 10, for example, int b equals 20, for example, etc. And when we wanted to print them, we were printing them separately. We were just typing it like the value of a is, for example, a and l. So this way we were printing a, and the same way we were printing b, for example. Here we write down b, here we write down b. So this was the old method that we used to print elements and declare and initialize them. However, using an array, we can just declare and initialize all of them in a single block of memory, just like this line. Okay, so we would like to write a program to store 5 numbers in an array. That we did, and print them. In order to print an array, because there are multiple elements in the array, we need to use the for loops. So in order to use the for loops, we are going to iterate over each element of the array and print them one by one. Let me explain you in the code. So we say the numbers in the array are, and then we go to the next line. Then we have our for loops here. So int I equals 0. It starts from 0 and it goes to 5 because we have 5 numbers, 5 elements in this array. And then we increment the value of I one by one. Then we see out numbers, which is the name of the array. Within the bracket we mentioned the I because it's going to print the first time. Let me just type it down here. In the first iteration, I equals 0, and it enters the loop. Then we have the numbers 0, so it will be printing the first element of the array number. When it is printed, it goes back up and I is incremented by one value. Then I now equals 1. Then it comes back and enter the loops and it will print the numbers 1. And the second element, because in here we are starting from 0, now 1 equals the second element of the array. It is going to print the second element of the array, and then it goes back up again and I is incremented by one value. Now I equals 2. When I equals 2, we are having the numbers and the third element of the number. So the first element of the array number equals 10. So in the first iteration, we are printing 10. In the second iteration, we are printing 20. In the third iteration, we are printing 30. And it continues until we have numbers 3, it equals 40. And finally, numbers 4 equals 50. So please note that we started from 0. So this is why we are ending at 4. But all in all, you will see that 5 elements are being printed here. Therefore, all of the elements of the array is expected to be printed. Let me run the code and see how it works. Okay, great. So as we can see here, the numbers in the array are, so this line is printed, then it is printing 10, 20, 30, 40, and why there is a space between them. The reason that there is a space between them is that because when we are printing the element, the ith element of array number, we are having one space here. So this is why we are seeing that 10 and then space 20 space 30 space 40 space 50. So this is why we are having this space. So to summarize, we learned that we can have we can have an array to store multiple elements of the same type in a single block of memory like this. And when we are going to print elements of an array, we need to use for loops to do that. And why we need the for loops? Because there are many elements. There might be several elements, a few elements in an array, so it's not a single element. There are a few elements that if we want to have an efficient code, we can just iterate over each one of the elements and then print them instead of just manually printing them one by one. Thank you for watching. In next videos, we're going to do some coding exercises regarding the arrays.